Hey, hey friends. My name's Nicholas Shannon Savard. My pronouns are they, them, and theirs. I was a counselor at Camp Lilac the summer of 2018. Currently, I am a theater teacher, writer, performer, director at The Ohio State University. I'm coming to you right now from a closet in Columbus. So what I thought that I would do to um, spread some trans positivity when I know a lot of us are feeling pretty isolated and struggling with that, I thought that I would record some of the pieces of performances from my show and stories and other little bits of theater pieces that I'm working on to share with you all, to spread some positivity and humor and add some light to our days. So the first one that I'm going to perform for you is called The Story of George and the Platypus. It is fantastic for teaching everybody from second graders to your 75-year-old grandparents all about respecting difference and gender identity through the metaphor of the platypus. So I hope that you like it. The Story of George and the Platypus. Once upon a time, there was an English colonist named George. George wanted to be a famous explorer and see things that no one had ever seen before. George sailed his ship across the seven seas and landed on the continent of Australia. But it turns out, when George got to the continent of Australia, there had already been people living there for thousands of years. Huh, thought George the Englishman. I guess this part has already been discovered. So he ventured further into forests, deeper into deserts, and through stinky swamplands in search of creatures that would astound everyone back in England. And he captured kangaroos and koalas and shipped them across the sea. And everyone in London looked on in wonder at the animals that George sent them. Now, George wasn't just any colonist. He was a scientist, and he filled books upon books of drawings and descriptions of every animal that he came across, and most importantly, he sorted them into a system. George the Englishman knew that there were 5, and only 5, kinds of animals. There were mammals, who are warm and fuzzy, reptiles, who are cold and scaly. There are fish in the sea, birds in the sky, and amphibians, all across the riverbanks. So far, it had been a perfect system. That, kids, is what we call foreshadowing. One day, George the Englishman came across a creature unlike any he had ever seen before. Has webbed toes and beak like a duck, flat tail and fur like a beaver. I must get a closer look. George the Englishman crept closer and closer and reached out to touch that silky brown fur. And the creature screamed, "Ah!" George the Englishman screamed, "Ah! Ah! Why would you sneak up on me like that? Can't you see I'm trying to enjoy my dinner?" I'm sorry," said George the Englishman. "It's just, you're such a remarkable creature. Can I ask you your name?" "I'm a platypus," said the creature. "Ah, yes, yes, a platypus. And what kind of animal are you?" "I'm a platypus." "Yes, yes, I understand that, but what kind of animal are you?" "I'm a platypus." "Right. I see you have fur. Are you a mammal?" "Nope, I'm a platypus. and the platypus dove into the river to catch some shrimp. Fascinating! It seems to be able to live above water as well as underneath it. Excuse me. Are you perchance amphibious? Nope, I'm a platypus, said the platypus between bites of shrimp. Well, you're clearly not a fish. Bird? But you're so furry. Nope, I'm a platypus, said the platypus after slurping up a big fat worm. If you don't mind, and if you'll excuse me, I should really be getting back to my eggs. Eggs! Eggs, you are a bird! How many times do I have to tell you? I'm a platypus. And the platypus hopped up on the riverbank and began to waddle away. But you walk just like a crocodile. I must follow you and continue my observations. No thank you. How am I supposed to tell the world about my incredible discovery if you won't cooperate? First of all, George the Englishman, you didn't discover me. You can't discover something that everyone on this island has already known about for thousands of years. And two, I'm not a bird or mammal or whatever else it is you want to call me. I'm a platypus. That's all. But that can't be all. My system. It was perfect. Not everyone needs to fit into your system, George the Englishman. Some of us are just different. You're going to have to learn to be okay with that. The platypus hopped back on the riverbank and began to waddle away, leaving George the Englishman sitting alone in silence. Maybe my system isn't perfect, thought George the Englishman. I mean, whales live underwater, but they're still mammals. Penguins can't fly, but nobody tells them they don't get to be birds. And as for the platypus, maybe some of us are just different. Maybe that's okay. I wonder, kids, could George the Englishman's lesson apply to people too? Some girls wear baggy jeans while they shoot hoops. Some girls cover everything in glitter and sparkles. Some girls bake cupcakes. Some boys dance beautifully in the ballet after football practice. And some boys just love mud and monster trucks. And some of us are kind of like the platypus. And we don't fit into what people tells us it means to be a boy or a girl. And that's just fine. Everybody has the right to tell us who they are. It's our job to listen. Thanks for listening, y'all.